All right. I was explaining just a little bit before I started about comfort. This isn't going to be a class where there's going to be a lot of extreme challenge. I might push you a little bit or give you, an alternative if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. It's going to be really gentle. I was talking to the class a little bit about a way to sit comfortably on the floor. I like to sit on about 2 inches directly under the tailbone, and it kind of rolls the pelvis out. It rolls the chest forward. So if you're sitting in a chair, sit out to the front of the chair where you'll have room to operate behind and in front, but make sure that your sit bones are actually on the chair. And one other thing, I'll just show you this. This is a 1, 2, 3 block. It's just really hard foam. It's got 3 different sizes that you can sit on. It's 2 feet one way, 18 inches and 1 foot. But if you are sitting in a chair or you're sitting on bolsters, sit out to the front of the chair with your sit bones here, so that you have a 90-degree angle. It's really important that your feet are flat on the floor. It'll add to stability. And also I reminded everybody just to check your area and make sure there's no trip or slip hazards, nothing that you could get hurt on. And we'll just go ahead now and we'll get started. All right, so first thing off, just find yourself a nice, comfortable seat. Sit yourself in a way that you can really envision the spine lining up and down, chest is slightly lifted. The tailbone is, like I say, when you lift your tailbone, it kind of automatically rolls the pelvis forward. So let's just go ahead. We'll go ahead and tune in first of all, but I'd like everybody just to put your hands on your knees and just relax for a moment. Close down your eyes and just begin to set aside any discordant energy. Maybe the morning was a little rough. I had a lot of running around to do, and I planned to really sit down for this class, but sometimes life has other ideas. So just begin to settle into yourself and create a little bit of space with your breath. Just begin to inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and just begin to slow your breathing down now. And go ahead and we'll rub our hands together in front of the heart center, and we'll all tune in so we're all together here. So just press the knuckles of the thumb into the sternum slightly. Close down your eyes now. And just take a full deep breath. Inhale all the way. And then exhale it all out. Oh, man. Sorry about that. So here we go again. Sorry. So take a deep inhale now, once again. And then exhale all the breath out. And we'll inhale now to tune in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So inhale deeply. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Keep your hands in prayer pose. We'll now recite the Mangalam Charan mantra. Take a deep breath. Ad Guru Name, Jugad Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Sri Guru Deve Name. Ad Guru Name, Jugad Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Sri Guru Deve Name. Ad Guru Name, Jugad Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Sri Guru Deve Name. Now take a deep inhale, and I'm going to ask you to suspend the breath. Suspension of the breath sets the prana of the exercise or meditation. And then just go ahead and exhale. And bring the hands down to the knees or to the lap or wherever's comfortable for you. And we're going to just begin with the long, deep breathing this afternoon. So the yogic breath has several parts of it. It's not just, it's a really refined breath. The yogic breath goes like this. The inhale is probably about a count of 8. So go ahead and do that. See if you can inhale to a count of 8. And then suspend now for a count of 4. And then exhale. And then just go ahead and inhale now, your own breath capacity. Inhale. Suspend the breath at the top. Let everything rise up with the breath. And just continue at your own pace now as I explain this. Keep breathing. Breathe into the belly space. You'll feel the belly kind of pooch out. And as you keep inhaling, you'll eventually feel it transfer up into the chest. And the very last part of the move, just before the pause at the top, you'll sort of feel your shoulder blades rise. And then that little pause, and then the exhale. And one of the reasons that I like to use this particular breath, it's a very intentional breath, and it keeps the mind from wandering very far away from the breath. You have to really think about what you're doing a little bit, and it'll keep you conscious of just exactly that. So as you continue now, we're going to do this for about 3 more minutes, just long, deep breathing with a suspension at the top. And then exhale. And let this be really gentle, very easy. And as the breath slows down, the mind really begins to slow down with it. Most people breathe about 15 times a minute, 15 breaths per minute. If you can slow that down to even 10, you've come a long ways towards quieting the mind, quieting the physical body down. And everything tends to follow the breath in yoga. So right now, you're practicing the most important part of yoga, which is the long, deep breath. And as you breathe, just begin to feel space, feel expansion, feel the area around you becoming charged. Just let that area expand as well, expand from inside out. And it helps if you bring a mantra to the breath. You can use the mantra Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. And continue to try to empty out. We have 1 more minute to go. Just empty out anything that maybe you came into class with. I came in here thinking I wasn't quite prepared, and no matter how much preparation I did, I wasn't going to be prepared enough for me. So just see if you can set all that aside and just settle into your own true nature for the next hour. And let's go ahead now and take a deep inhale together. Suspend the breath at the top. Exhale all the air out. Use your abs to push the remaining air out. Pull up and in with the abs. Use the root lock. And then relax the belly. And take another deep inhale now. And then just exhale and let that go. So a lot of the basic warm-ups that you're familiar with are in this Kriya, so we won't do a lot of basic warm-ups. Is there anybody that can't lie on the floor or be on hands and knees? Okay, perfect. That's great. So let's first of all come onto the hands and knees into tabletop posture. So tabletop posture, your hands are directly under your shoulders, fingers are spread wide. Distribute the weight. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of cat and cow for about 1 minute to loosen up the spine. So we're going to inhale, the head comes up, the belly drops towards the floor, and hold that momentarily, drop the belly, and then exhale into a cat position. And then inhale back into cow. And I believe in letting people do this at their own speed. So just work this at your own speed. You might stop in a certain area that may be sticky and wag the tail a little bit. And then come back into posture and just continue to flow with the cat-cow. Inhale, head up, belly down. Exhale, round over. And everything rounds here, including the head. And go ahead and continue. We have about another 15 seconds. And bring some elegance to your movement. This should really be about elegance and flow. There shouldn't be anything radical about it. Just make it really pleasant for yourself. And now let's all inhale into cow, head up, belly down. Deep inhale. And then exhale all the breath out into cat. And then inhale one more time into cow. And then exhale and let that go. I'm going to turn slightly sideways here. We'll pause in between exercises. We'll remain hands and knees more or less. This isn't going to be a moving posture, but what I'd like you to do is to stretch your arms out. So your arms are out in front of you at about a 45-degree angle, like so. And then just let your head drop to the floor. Let your forehead come down onto the floor, and just support yourself with your arms momentarily. And just hold this posture with long, deep breathing now. The advantages of this posture here is that the heart is above the head. Everything tends to flow differently, like if you're in downward dog or whatever position you're in. This posture right here is really good for activating the pituitary gland. Anytime you get your head below your heart, it has significance also in a spiritual sense that you're leading with the heart and not with the head. And just continue about 15 more seconds. And just feel the energy flowing up the spine now. The pituitary gland is right behind the brow point. Right behind that is the pineal gland. There's a lot going on, so if you can get that flow right. So now everybody take a deep inhale together. And then just sink all the way back into extended child's pose. Your hands are still out front. It's Gur Pranam, depending on your practice. And now we're going to just begin a really light flow. And it's going to look like this. We're going to be this is going to be the resting posture. And we're going to come into a flow. We're not really going into a cobra pose. So don't think that you have to push yourself all the way into a cobra. What we're really doing here is just raising a little bit of energy with a flow back and forth. Inhale. Just gently come forward. You can stop there and stretch. You can also stop back in child's pose if you prefer. And we'll just flow through this for about another 15 seconds. And don't overstretch your spine. And now go ahead and inhale into the up position. And on the exhale, fall all the way back into child's pose now. And go ahead now and rest your arms along the side. We're going to take about 15 seconds here. And once again, lower the forehead if you can, below the heart center. You can lower it all the way to the floor if you can. Head is below the heart. Once again, we're reversing a little bit of flow here. So go ahead now and inhale and just gently come back up. Put your hands under your shoulders and then just gently come back up into that position. And then exhale and relax. And let's everybody now come into easy pose, whatever that is for you. If it's a chair, if you're on the floor, let's come into easy pose now. And we'll do a pranayama here just before we begin the kriya. This is a really powerful pranayama. So what I'd like you to do is the left hand goes in Gyan Mudra. It stays, you put that on the left knee, and we're going to raise the right hand up so it looks like this. It's going to look like an antenna sticking straight up. We're going to block the right nostril and inhale, full breath. Suspend up on the top for a count of 4. And then exhale out the right nostril. And now inhale the right nostril. And then exhale left. And inhale, and do this at your own speed now. We're going to do this for 3 minutes. And you can just make a little C shape with your hand. We're going to be reversing. You'll be inhaling left, exhaling right. Whatever nostril you just exhaled from, we're going to inhale from. We've got about 2 more minutes. This is a really good exercise, a good meditation pranayama here for balancing the hemispheres of the brain. Breathing through the left nostril actually is the moon channel, and it tends to calm down, and on the other side it's the sun channel. So we're actually shifting back and forth here with polarities. And now for about the last 40 seconds, just come back in and imagine the expansion, just empty out. And then go ahead and inhale, and you can bring the right hand down back to the knee or wherever it's sitting here. And just take a moment now and feel the effects of the pranayama. Continue long, deep breathing. See if you can intentionally come back to the yogic breath. A little bit of a pause. Okay, so for the first exercise in this Kriya, we're going to bring our hands down to the shins. And we're going to grab onto either one shin or both shins. And I'm sure that everybody's done this before in this class, but it's just a spinal camel ride spine flex. And in the front space, your front is sort of arching ahead. That's the inhale. And then on the exhale, we're rounding everything back. And this is just a nice gentle flow back and forth. You can use your hands here for a little bit of leverage. Your hands are on the shins. And try to use your shoulders a little bit so they're rolling in and out just a little bit with the inhale and exhale. But just continue a full spine flex. Inhale forward, exhale back. And once again, you can stop in any place where you might have a sticky wicket in this posture and stretch it out. And the head stays level with this. It doesn't go up and down. The head actually is looking at the horizon the whole time. It stays level with the horizon. It's just a nice gentle flow back and forth. We've got one more minute. And bring your attention to the brow point now. We've activated the pituitary. So just bring a little bit of attention to that spot, just between the eyebrows and up. And then let's go ahead and inhale, sit up straight now. Sip in a little more air. And now I'm going to ask you to pull everything up and in, pull in your abs, squeeze down on the root lock, suspend the breath, set the prana, and then exhale. And we'll be taking pauses in between each of these exercises. So as we pause here for a few seconds, just come back internal, stay internal, and just keep letting thinking go by the wayside. And now I would like for everybody to come into rock pose. And rock pose is where you're sitting on your heels. And if you can't sit on your heels, then stay in easy pose. One thing that really helps with rock pose is if you put a pillow in between your calves and your thighs. And if you're sitting in a chair, just go ahead and stay in the chair now. And we're going to be doing exactly the same thing now. Our hands are going to be down by our knees here. And we're going to be doing the same camel ride spine flex now. Inhale forward and exhale back. And you'll notice the difference now in the extension and contraction. Keep the breath really full here. Move back and forth, just a nice gentle flow. Head stays level. And anytime thoughts do come up, we'll keep going here. Anytime thoughts do come up, just see if you can let them go. come back to your body. Just see if you can re-inhabit everything in your body, all of your felt senses, whatever's going on around you. Maybe there's a breeze, maybe it's hot, maybe there's a dog barking, maybe there's a lawnmower going. Just allow that to become part of your practice here. And continue the spinal flex. Inhale forward, Sat Nam. Sat Nam. And I'll read the comments for this Kriya after we begin our next exercise. And now take a deep inhale, sit up straight. Once again, pull everything up and in. Pull the abs up and in, suspend the breath, sip in a little more air. And now take a deep in, just inhale it all through the mouth. Just let it go. Just let everything go. And we'll pause here. And you can come out of rock pose now. We're going to take a few seconds here. You can come out of rock pose and back into easy pose. And just come back to your center point. I like to reset the spine every time that we come out of a position and come into a position, and just begin to lift everything up. The shoulders should be relaxed here, but just lift everything up. Take some long, deep breaths now. And once again, just come internal. Feel the sense of space, the sense of expansion. We're going to continue now with another spinal exercise. In fact, it's all pretty much spinal since it's a spinal series. So let's bring the hands up to the shoulders. And with your video on, this is really easy to see. It's important that your shoulders, it's not like one up and one down. Try to get everything nice and lined up, like there's a pole across your shoulders. Keep your head in the center. And we're just going to inhale to the left and exhale to the right. And if you have a hard time with having your arms up, put them in front of you like this in a bear grip. If this is hard for you, you can do this. Otherwise, shoulders up, parallel to the floor. Inhale left, exhale to the right. And go ahead now and close down your eyes. And once again, with this one, the head follows the body. It doesn't keep turning as the spine quits turning. And stop and take a stretch in any direction that you need to. And now for the last minute, if you want, you can kick up the speed and kick up the intensity, or you can slow down. Just continue the motion here for one more minute. Inhale left, Sat, exhale right, Nam. Continue to lift up on the spine. And now go ahead and inhale to center. Suspend the breath, sipping a little more air now, as much air as you can get in. Suspend the breath. And then exhale, and go ahead and relax the hands back down to the knees or lap. And we'll pause now just for a moment. And just become aware as we work of subtle shifts that may be happening in your body. Maybe it's in your thinking. The whole point here is just to yoke body, mind, and spirit into one place. Make this your sacred place, this stillness. Don't just make it your sacred space, but know that you're entitled to it. Know that it's your birthright. Okay. All right, so now we are going to bring our hands into what's called bear grip. So it doesn't matter which hand is which here, but we're going to interlock our fingers like this. And the level of the fulcrum on this is going to be at the throat center. So bring it up to, right about the Adam's apple, somewhere right there. And once again, we're going to begin to articulate through the shoulders. Keep a little bit of pressure side to side on the arms. Inhale up, exhale to the other side. And just imagine that you have a marble that's rolling back and forth on your arms, and you don't want to let that marble roll off. A little bit of light pressure, pulling the hands apart. Keep the breath full now. Once again, make sure that you're sitting up straight. And once again, if you feel like stopping in any place to get a little extra stretch, feel free to do that. Just be curious about your own body here. Curiosity is a good thing in yoga. Be curious about what's going on, or maybe what isn't going on. And now let's go ahead and inhale to that center point. Deep inhale. Suspend the breath now and pull apart on the hands. Don't let them come apart, but actively pull apart. And then exhale and go ahead and relax the arms back down. Just take a moment now, stay internal. This will be our posture for the next exercise. So we're going to do another spine flex. This time our hands are going to be on the knees instead of on the shins. And the arms stay straight, or more or less straight. And the reason for the arms being straight in this is because it actually articulates the shoulders. It opens up the heart center. So let's go ahead with the hands on the knees and inhale and come forward into a nice spinal flex, and then round all the way back into the back space. Head stays level. Let this just be a really elegant meditative flow. Work with the breath here. You have to keep the breath full. And notice how you can squeeze the shoulder blades together in the front position. It opens up the heart center. This is a really good one for that. We'll continue for one more minute. And then go ahead now and inhale deep, sit up straight. Pull everything up and in once again. We're trying to raise all the energy into the upper centers of consciousness. Suspend the breath, set the pran, and then exhale. And you can stay in the same posture here. We have a few more to do, and we'll do a final meditation. So once again, hands are on the knees. And this isn't like a really radical exercise. I like to move really slowly. But anyway, hands are on the knees now. And we're going to begin to seesaw the shoulders. So one shoulder's up, one shoulder's down. And once again, try to imagine that there's a stick so that your shoulders stay kind of in line. That's part of the trick of it here, to use the little stabilizer muscles. So inhale up, exhale down. Keep coming back to the breath. After this gets a little bit easy, you start to wander off. Just keep coming back to the sound of your breath. Now let's all inhale together. Squeeze the shoulders up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze them up. Suspend the breath. And then exhale. And we'll relax here momentarily. Just keep coming back inside. Stay internal here. There's nowhere to be. Nothing to do. And really nothing at all to think about. Okay, so let's bring our hands back into bear grip now. And this is just going to be a 3 repetition exercise here. So first of all, put a little bit of light pressure, pulling your hands apart. And then we're going to inhale, and the hands are going to come up over the head and continue just a little bit of activation. And then go ahead and exhale, and then they come right back in front of the heart center again. Just float them really nice and gently back in front. Inhale, hands are back up overhead. Keep pulling apart on the hands lightly. And then exhale back to the heart center. And one more time now. Deep inhale. Stretch the arms up, pull apart. Suspend the breath now. And exhale, and just go ahead and float the arms down through your aura. And there's 2 more exercises. One of them is actually a meditation. It's the Sakriya meditation, but there is one more to do here, and that's your basic neck rolls. And I'm sure probably everybody here has done the neck rolls. So just gently bring your head down towards your chest. It may touch it, it may not. We don't want to force the neck. Continue to lift up, keep the chest lifted, and just let the head rest there momentarily. And then as you're ready, go ahead and just begin turning the head around in circles. Inhale into the back space and exhale into the front space. And just gently roll the head around. Don't use any weight. We'll go 1 minute in each direction. If you hear any crepitus in your neck, they're just little bubbles that are popping, little calcium deposits. I used to have a lot of popping in my neck until I did a lot of these. And the next time your head is front and center, go ahead and pause. Take an intentional pause and then turn the other direction now for a minute. I like to direct a pause before the change in direction, just to get the head back in line, the neck back in line. Some people just crank right into the other direction. This actually is a little safer to do it this way. Just take a pause when you change directions. Keep going. We have about another 30 seconds. And now just go ahead and make smaller and smaller circles. Take about 5 circles and just spiral up and in. Continue to lift up on the head. And then eventually come to still at center. Everything up and in when we stop. And go ahead now, take a deep breath at the center point. And exhale. And this next one is, it's a really basic Kriya, but I was a little bit leery about teaching it in this particular class, but I'm sure that you've probably done it before with Sunny. And this one is going to be for a full 3 minutes. I don't have any choice but to do this for 3 minutes, according to the manual here. So we're going to come back into rock pose. You might want to spread your legs, your knees out just a little bit. Bring a pillow in between your thighs and your ankles, or your thighs and your calves. I'm going to raise the screen just a little bit here. This is a very powerful Kriya all by itself. This in itself is a Kriya, but it's also part of a lot of different Kriyas. So with this one, we're going to have our fingers interlaced in Venus lock. We're going to bring the Jupiter fingers out, so they're pointing straight out like this. All the other fingers are interlaced. If you're of male, if you're male or you have male energy, cross the right thumb over the left thumb. And if it's the opposite, the female polarity is to cross the thumb the other way, cross the left thumb over the right. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the arms right straight up over the head. And the hands here are going to be hugging the ear, or the arms are hugging the ears. And it's going to sound like this. Just, you can go ahead and relax just for a minute. You can relax your arms down. And I'll show you a few things about this Kriya. You see people a lot of times when they do Sat Kriya, they inhale and when they say Sat, they jump right up. This is all done in the belly. On Sat, the belly pulls in, and Nam, you just relax it out. That's the only thing that's really moving here is your abdomen. This section of your abs right here is just moving in and out. Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, It'll bring some movement to the rest of your body. But what we don't want to do is be jumping up and down. So let's go ahead now and inhale, take the arms up overhead. Fingers are interlaced. Jupiter fingers are pointing straight up towards the heavens. And let's all inhale, and I'll start, and you can just join in whenever. We'll all have to stay together on this. So inhale. Now let me set the timer. Okay. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. So you kind of get it. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. So we'll slow it down a little bit here now. Sat, nam, 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 sat, nam. And you breathe wherever you can in this. Sat, nam, sat, nam. You can take little short inhales. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. Use your abs. Sat, nam, 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 sat, nam. And just continue now. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. Continue reaching up. Sat, nam. The tighter you get, the harder it is. Just stay with it. Sat, nam. You can bring your arms down like this if you need to. Sat, nam, 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 sat, nam. So inhale deeply now, stretch up, suspend the breath, and then just go ahead now and float your arms down. And let's come all the way onto the back now for final relaxation. That is the end of the Kriya. And we're going to spend a little bit of time here. Just flat on your back, just relax everything, let everything go. Make yourself really comfortable.
Robert, we can't hear you. I know you're not muted on Zoom, but maybe you're muted on your computer.
There.
Still can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. Now you're muted on Zoom.
How about now?
Good.
All right. Sorry about that. I have a remote mic and I had it set up for the music. So let's just come back up where we're sitting up straight. Bring the hands together at heart center. And just bring a little bit of light gratitude to your heart for practicing today together. I'm grateful for the opportunity to practice with you today. And we're going to sing the Sunshine Song 3 times through. Once is for yourself, once is for the people in your life, and the third time through is for everybody else in the world, and especially people that you might have difficult time with. So let's go ahead now, take a deep inhale together. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale now for Sunshine Song. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. 3 long Satnams. Sat-nam. 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 May all beings everywhere awaken to their true potential. May we all awaken to the light of our own true nature, that we become more effective servants of good. And I do apologize for the slight little mistakes, but all right. So Satnam, it's good to see everybody, and I will be around for questions. We'll stay around for talking afterwards.